What's up, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter? Super excited to be back live once again. So, regardless of wherever you guys are popping in from, let me know where in the world you're watching from, and we shall begin, my friends. Hello, hello. Hello to everybody on Instagram. It's been a long time since I've been on Instagram. And hello to everybody on Twitter and YouTube. If you guys on Instagram are following my YouTube and Twitter, make sure you do that. I am Will Nichols, or youtube.com/I am Will Nichols. And if you're not following my Instagram on Twitter and YouTube, then make sure you guys go and follow me at I am Will Nichols. Or you can't tag my account because I've been shadow banned to all shit, but you can tag my new account at official Will Nichols, which is my backup. So love you guys. Thanks to everybody tuning in. We got a lot to dive into today. Appreciate all the compliments and the comments and the good to see everyone here. What's going on? Welcome. Yeah, so what we're going to be talking about today is a very, very important topic, because this is, the key to success, in my opinion. This is really what it takes. It takes a high level of belief. It takes an understanding of the fact that, the world that we can see and the world that we're living in is far from what is really going on. And the truth is, and I say this all the time to my clients, if you don't understand energy, then you don't understand 99% of the world. Because what you see is not what really is. And when you learn to see life through the true lens, and you begin to attune your sight to be able to actually see what's going on, both within yourself and outside of yourself, then life gets a little easier. You start to understand reality quite a bit more. And that's part of the fun, is when you learn how to acknowledge that your own beliefs and your own perceptions of what you think reality is, what you think life is, ultimately is the filter through which you see life and reality. So your beliefs are pretty much the defining factors for what your quality of life is. If you're not happy with your life, then that means that there are some beliefs that you hold that are hindering you. And if the beliefs that you hold are hindering you, then you can know for certain that you need to change those beliefs, because the truth is that when you change your beliefs, you change your life. And, I'm living proof of that. There's millions and millions and millions of testimonials of this to be true. This is a science. This is not some woo-woo. This is not some, fairyland ayahuasca dust. This is reality. This is the science of the mind. And when you understand the science of the mind and you begin to learn about the science of the mind, then life gets easier, because you take back your control. And that's the bottom fundamental aspect here, is you have control. Most people are living life and they think they have no control. I've got anxiety, I've got stress, I've got depression, I've got all these mental illnesses, I've got these traumas, I've got these things that have happened to me. And these things that have happened to me are defining who I am and what I'm allowed to experience and what I'm allowed to create in my life. And that is just utterly not true. Okay, my friends, it is just not true. You are the one that is defining what you want in your life, and no one else is responsible for that. You can blame people for what have happened in the past, but what is that doing you now besides creating victimization on yourself? Oh, poor me, poor me. Yeah, well, guess what? Those people that have done you wrong, they're not thinking about you anymore. And if they are, they're clowns and losers, and you don't deserve to think about them. They don't deserve to have you think about them. So leave them alone. It doesn't matter, So that's the whole basis of your life and living your life in the way that you want to live it, is to take control of your mind, because your mind has been hijacked, my friends. Your mind has been hijacked to all shit. And it has been programmed with garbage. It has been hijacked with garbage. And it's not you. It's not you. Most of the beliefs that you have are not you. They're not yours. You have accepted them. You have allowed them to penetrate your mind and pervert you. And they have tainted you. They have tainted who you really are. And it's just not true. So in order to, begin to create massive change in your life and begin living life in the direction and in the way that you want, you have to take back control of your mind. And that starts with the analysis and the reprogramming of your beliefs. Because like I said, your beliefs are what hinder you and what help you. So if you want to, create amazing things in this world, and you know you're here for something other than what you're doing, then you can be for certain that the only thing that's stopping you from achieving that now is your beliefs. That's it. It's not people, it's not circumstances, it's not the color of your skin, it's not your mental illness, it's not your heritage, it's not your religion, it's not what's happened to you in the past, it's not your ex-boyfriend, it's not your ex-wife or husband. It has nothing to do with all of that. It only has to do with how you relate to your mind. And when you can understand that that's what matters most, that is where the power lies, and that's also where the cuckery or the cuckoldry lies, where you are getting dominated, you're getting cucked by your own mind. So, how do we understand belief on a deeper level so that it can really make sense to us? Because, the reason that people don't do this work is, one, because they either believe it's too hard or too late, and two, they just don't understand how important it actually is. Okay? Like I said, this is the defining factor for everything in your life. Everything. Your bank account, your net worth, your opportunities that you create in your life, the level of happiness, your mental health, everything comes down to your beliefs. If you have shitty beliefs or limiting beliefs that hinder you, that hold you down, that pin you down and keep you in the dirt, keep you in quicksand, keep you feeling like you're sinking, well, you're going to feel limited. You're going to feel trapped. You're going to feel like you're sinking. And if you have positive beliefs that empower you, that make you feel good, that help you grow, that help you feel empowered, well, those same beliefs are going to empower you and bring you forward and bring you all the things that you want in your life. Now, here's the thing with belief, though. There's no lying to yourself. It's not about lying to yourself. You either believe something or you don't believe it. So anything in between is bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. So, everyone tries to do this in the spiritual community. They try to lie to themselves. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Lying to yourself does not work. You've tried it. We've all tried it. I'm a multi-billionaire. It's like, that doesn't work. You don't believe it. So start small. Okay, this is always what I say. Start small. Meaning that you're not trying to believe that you're a billionaire when you clearly are not. And you clearly are not in the mental and emotional and vibrational capacity to accept that belief yet. You're quite a few steps behind. Let's work on, loving yourself first, maybe, huh? Let's work on worthiness first, huh? Let's work on the basis here. Because if you don't have a foundation, you can try and grow high, but what happens to a tree with no root structure that tries to go high? It goes, falls over. You can only grow as high as your roots grow low. So this is why beliefs and core beliefs are, this is the most important work that you do. And this is why, after years of coaching and doing mindset stuff and spiritual and life and business and branding and all that shit, I found out that the common denominator here of success is beliefs. So I've just doubled down on that. That's what I do now. So that's the fundamental. If this is not taken care of, it will ruin your life. And I've seen it time and time again. This is the exact same reason why you could win the lottery tomorrow and you'd probably lose it. In fact, you're much, much, much more likely to lose all that money within the next 5 years than you are to keep it. Because your beliefs are not able to receive that amount of wealth. You're not able to fathom that yet. Because if you were, you'd have it. So how do we create beliefs for something that we don't have yet? Well, it starts with understanding what are the operating systems, what are the softwares that we're running in our lives right now. What are the software that we're running right now? Is it software unworthiness? Is it lack? Is it fear? Is it limitation? Is it oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy of this, or is it I am a motherfucking wizard, I can create whatever I want in my life, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it now, I'm the best in the fucking world, no one can stop me, I'm unstoppable. If you follow me for a few years, my phase. I haven't made a video like this in a while, but when I was just like, you are fucking unstoppable, I had a era on the Instagram days a few years back where I would just yell that nonstop because it's true. It's true. You are unstoppable. How do we change automated negative thinking? Well, that's what we're getting into today, is understanding this process and beginning that process. And by the way, when I lay out this process, it's going to sound simple because it is, by the way, but you have to keep up with it and you have to hold yourself accountable. And that's the work that I do, is, ensuring that it fits into your life. So the protocol is very simple. When negative beliefs or triggers arise, we observe them, we are aware of them, we're witnessing them. We're getting into witness consciousness, as they talk about in Eastern philosophy, right? We're getting into a witnessing consciousness where we're observing what is going on. We're not judging. We're not saying, oh, poor me again, oh man, how am I going to pay these bills? Poor me. I'm never worthy of having the amount of money and success that I want in my life. Poor me, or I'm never able to have the great relationships that I want in my life. Poor me. It's like, that's how most people live their lives. And it's on automatic, just like you said. So how do we stop that, or how do we change that? Well, beliefs cannot be destroyed. This is the number one, probably most important thing. If you were to take away one important thing from today, it would be that beliefs are not destroyed, they are replaced. So you must replace the limiting belief with a positive belief that basically overrides the mechanism. Okay, which means that if you have a belief of unworthiness, instead of trying to go in and do the shadow work and dive deep with my shaman and 13 ayahuasca ceremonies later, and I'm still dealing with it, 5 years of therapy, and I'm still dealing with these shadows and these dark parts of myself. The reason that people are in that is because they're trying to destroy. You can't destroy. Energy is not, this is why having an understanding of energy is important too. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed and rearranged and transmuted and transfigured into something different. So if I have a belief of unworthiness, I need to install the program of love and worthiness. Okay, how do I do that? Well, first I have to realize that I have this program of unworthiness, and I have to notice where it comes up in my life, because it's in those moments when it arises that we have the opportunity to change the belief. And then from there, then you say, okay, so I don't want to feel unworthy. I got that. I got it. Right? I don't want to feel that way. I feel bad when I feel unworthy. I feel unworthy. I feel like slime. I feel like dirt. I feel like my self-esteem drops. I feel depressed. I feel anxious. I feel stressed. All these things happen when I feel unworthy. And when something in the outer world triggers that feeling within me. That's a very important reframing, by the way. It's not when something in the outer world causes me to feel unworthy, or causes me to be unworthy, or makes me feel unworthy. Those are bad language. We don't want to do that because we're disempowering ourselves. But if we say, when something in the outer world triggers me to feel unworthy now in this moment, when that feeling arises, paying attention to the origin and where's that coming from? Okay, well, I've said this a lot. Okay, what are other areas where you've said the same thing? Oh, well, when I try and do a new project, that's the first thing that I think of. If I try and, actually, start opening up and being a little vulnerable, that's what I think of. I think of that unworthiness. If I, am trying to make some more money in my life. I'm trying to be more successful. All this unworthiness comes up. Okay, well, now we're making some progress. So now you've realized this is what I don't want. I don't want to feel unworthy anymore. Okay, I don't want to feel that way. It's clear, right? I don't want to feel unworthy. Okay. But it's happening automatically. It's not like I'm consciously saying, I'm unworthy today, ho, 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 another beautiful day in unworthy land, It's like, that's not what we say. It happens automatically. That unworthiness, those fears, that they arise automatically, right? It's not like we're consciously saying, oh, boy, am I feeling unworthy today. What a beautiful day. Oh, it's sunny. It's this type of time. And god damn, do I feel unworthy of all the things that I want in my life. Ho-ho! Right? So it's not something that we do automatically. Or it's not something we do consciously. It's something that happens automatically. So what do we do next? Well, now we're aware, okay, I don't want to feel unworthy. You have to have that desire within you. That's how self-development and personal development works. You have to have the desire to change. If you don't have a desire to change, then you never will, right? It starts with being very, very uncomfortable. When people come to me and want to work with me, they're very uncomfortable. I don't get people, that are like super, unless they're living in this complete fantasy land, which happens like once in a blue moon. We're living in this fantasy land, but they're called to work with me, and then they come and I just spank them around a little bit and be like, bro, you're living in hell. What are you talking about? This is good. So, sometimes people need to have their little bubble of, it's all good. It's like spiritual propaganda programming, right? That says that everything's all right. It's all right. Even though inside you feel like you're dying and it feels like hell and you don't believe it. So it's all propaganda. You have to accept and realize, I feel bad right now. I don't feel good right now, and I want to feel better. You have to have that desire within you. If you don't have that desire within you, then you can't help yourself, and no one can help you. So don't come to me whining and asking for my help if that's you, because I would say go to a therapist or something, or find another route, because I can't help you. You have to want to help yourself. That's number one. And so you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be sick and tired of being where you are. You have to be sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over again, right? You have to be tired and fed up, really fed up with your programming. It can't be this like a lot of times, like when you see like really toxic or bad relationships, like of years of marriage, and they hate each other, and they're just like, they pretend like they love each other, but they don't. And they're like, they're in this like, bitching dynamic where they actually begin to love to hate each other. Like they get like addicted to like hating each other. We get addicted to our negative programming, right? So when you actually tune in with yourself and this, these feelings, or these, you're realizing that these things are limiting me right now, which is good realization, by the way. It's a good realization to even be aware that I'm being impacted by my negative programming. That's a big step. It's not the, be all end all, but it is a big step to be aware, hey, I've got some things that are messing with my head. I've got some programs that are not operating correctly, right? So that's a good first step, but it's a baby step, so don't pat yourself on the back too much, because you're not doing anything. You're just aware that, first step's awareness, but the second step is making it change. So how do we do that? Well, I'm aware that this is what I don't want. I don't want to feel unworthy anymore. So what do I want? Okay, I want to feel worthy, right? Right? Okay, if I feel unworthy, I want to feel worthy. Okay, now here is the hardest part, right? This is the hardest part of the process. The hardest part of the process is turning your back on what you don't want, turning your back on that unworthiness, and turning towards and going all in on the feeling and the idea and the thoughts associated with worthiness. Because if you think and you're in that state of feeling unworthy, it's not just this feeling of unworthiness. There's all these thoughts, emotions, and feelings from all the time in your life that you felt unworthy that are associated. It's kind of like this like octopus, right? It's got like the head that is like, okay, I feel unworthy, and then all these tentacles, and that's kind of what thought forms look like. If you kind of can see energy, that's what thought forms, they like, these like tentacles, black tentacles that are coming at you. And those tentacles are, the core, I'm unworthy of, love or wealth or prosperity or success. It's core. But then the other one is like, someone when you were 3 years old said you were unworthy of, love in a certain way, right? Or, someone told you that you shouldn't feel this way, or someone told you or showed you through their actions that you're unworthy of experiencing that, or you showed yourself through, not standing up for certain events in your life, that you were unworthy of receiving the love and the success or the desire that you want. You didn't go after the opportunity, or you didn't leave the situation when you should have, or there's all these things. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter. People spend their whole lives trying to figure out what all those things are. Okay, here's the thing, and this is something that I'm proud of, so I'm going to share it. Most people in this whole world, this industry that I'm in, they're not solution oriented, okay? Which means that they're focused on, let's get to the root. Let's get to the root and just keep digging eternally. And guess what? Oh, your hour's up, but if you want another hour, $250 in the bank account. Ooh, it's all money, 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 money. You're spending $1,000 a month or more on fucking therapy without any results, okay? And the reason that people pay me the big bucks is because we get results. Because if I didn't get results, I wouldn't have clients and I wouldn't be in business. So you have to be results oriented, which means that you're not trying to dive into every little nook and cranny of your being of where did this was when I was 7 years old, hypnosis and all that. No, it's not necessary. What's necessary is identifying the core basis. I feel unworthy. Here are all the life situations that arise in my life when I feel that way. And in those life situations that arise when I feel that unworthiness, when that really comes up, okay, I'm now given an opportunity. And that opportunity is I can continue to focus on what I don't want, that feeling of unworthiness, or I can shift my focus and my awareness to now focusing on what it is that I do want. I want to feel worthy. And it literally starts with that. It just starts with that desire of I want to feel more worthy. I want to feel more worthy of love, prosperity, success, wealth, whatever it is that you're wanting in your life. You have to feel worthy of creating it in order to create it. So that's the hard part though, because like I said, we're addicted to the negative emotions. We're addicted. We're literally addicted. You're addicted. It's like heroin to you. You're like, I want to feel worthy over here, but then back there you're like, come on boy, just shoot up a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bring the needle. Oh yeah, I need a little hit, need a little fucking dopamine. Oh yeah, get the needle, wrap the little band around. Oh yeah, grab the needle, heat up the spoon. Oh, no. Wait, I don't want to feel unworthy, right? I want to feel worthy, but I'm so addicted to feeling unworthy, and the world keeps telling me that I should feel unworthy. That's what it's like. You're addicted to it. You're addicted to the process. So you have to break the addiction. The only way to break the addiction is to replace the addiction with a positive thing to focus on, which means that every time that comes up, now instead of focusing on unworthiness and guilt and shame and all that shit that goes around it, you're now focusing on, okay, what does make me feel worthy? What do I know that I'm worthy of? Well, I know that I'm worthy of this because I have it. I know that I'm worthy of love because I desire it deeply. I know that with time, that I'm going to get better at this. And I know with time, my self-worth is going to increase. And I know with time that the more that I do this, the more that I focus on the things that I'm wanting, the things that I'm really desiring within myself and outside of myself, that I'm going to feel better. And when I feel better, then I feel a little bit more worthy. And you're not going to wake up tomorrow and just, I'm worthy. No, it's not like that, because you've spent your whole, pretty much entire life programming yourself to say that you're not. So it's not an overnight process. And this is why, these are things that you can do on your own, but it takes a lot of time. And if you want to accelerate that process, you can send me a DM. But that's the process. So you have to turn your back on what you don't want. You have to turn your back on that. And it's moment by moment. It's step by step. It's not instant overnight. It all happens now. No, it's step by step. This feeling arises. I'm noticing that these cycles are happening. These addictive, automatic, unconscious thoughts, these negative thoughts are invading my mind. I need to replace those thoughts with positive. You can only focus on one thing at a time. You only focus on one thing at a time, which means that if you have a belief and that negative belief is stronger than the positive belief, like if your belief of unworthiness is stronger than your belief of worthiness, then it's going to take it over. But if you strengthen the worthiness, if you focus on strengthening that aspect of yourself, building confidence, breaking through those limiting barriers, through belief work, through blowing out the neural pathways, which is some of the work that I do, through release work, releasing the heavy, intense emotions, then you start to begin that process. You start to begin the process of letting that shit go and welcoming in these new positive beliefs. And the more you reinforce that, the more you reinforce that, the more you reinforce that, reinforcing the positive when those negative things arise, the better off you'll be. And then over time, that belief of your true worthiness will override the unworthiness, and that then you'll start to see the progress. So you'll start to feel the difference before you see the difference, but then you'll see the difference after you felt the difference enough times. Okay, so the same thing goes for any belief. It's not just about unworthiness. That's a big, huge core belief that pretty much everyone that I've worked with and talked to has. In some way. It's not always love. Sometimes it's success. Sometimes it's I'm not. And there's levels to this too. You feeling unworthy of breaking past 6 figures is going to be a different level of unworthiness to you feeling unworthy of breaking past 7 figures or 8 figures if you desire. Or you breaking past 35,000 a year to hit that 50,000 or 60,000 and have that jump. Those are it's all levels. There's levels to this. And that's why it's, trauma, mindset work, the type of work that I'm describing that I do is these are like layers of an onion. You've never got it. You're getting it. You're always getting it. It's always good. You're getting a little bit better at it. You're practicing it. You're practicing better thoughts. You're practicing better mindset, better thinking. All right. And so this is part of the importance of doing this work, though, is commitment to it. Right. This is why I recommend you invest in someone that would help you do that. That's the work that I do, and that's the work that I've invested in that's allowed me to do this work and has allowed me to have this outlook and mindset and be able to share and teach about this. Because, when I kind of bit the bullet, I literally spent my last dollars on mentors. They've all paid me back, tenfold, if not 100-fold. And it's not even necessarily like the work that they did, although that's a huge part of it. Their perspectives, their guidance, their outlook. That's a huge, huge part of it. Programs, all that stuff, courses. But the main aspect of working with someone, at least that I found in my experience of investing in mentors and coaches and consultants, is the commitment to yourself. You're programming yourself, your mind, and you're setting that intention out there that says, I am ready for the next level. I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready for it. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to improve my situation. And when you have that kind of conscious intention or realization, instantly there's a shift. Instantly. Just making that commitment, nonetheless, doing the work and actually going through the program of whatever type. And this is not just about belief work or the mindset stuff and the increasing your potential and your performance and overcoming your mindset. This is for anything. If you're getting into health and you're doing working with a health coach, if you're getting into fitness and you're working with a fitness coach, you taking that first step is really what amplifies you and locks you into the frequency of I'm worthy of investing in myself. I'm worthy of committing to myself and my highest potential in my future. That's what matters. So, like I said, I'm not for everyone, as you all know, based on how I speak and how I talk. But if you are looking to get that help, you are looking to get that next step, you are looking to create more freedom in your life and break through those success barriers, break through those mindset barriers in your life as an entrepreneur or just as an individual who's really dedicated and committed to growth and development, then reach out to me and I'd love to have a little conversation and connect. But let's talk about the Magick mindset. Okay, so we talked about the power of belief and how it creates everything and beliefs and those layers to all that. But what is the Magick mindset? The Magick mindset is baseline, to sum it up very, very simply. is understanding that things are not what they seem and that the world is filled with magic. And if you tune yourself, if you fine tune your eyes to be able to see the magic in every moment, then life is a beautiful, joyous roller coaster. And it's exciting and it's fun. And it's filled with prosperity. It's filled with joy. It's filled with love. It's filled with empowerment. And yes, we go through some downs and we go through some bumpy spots along the journey. But at the end of the day, it's a joyous ride, because when you're open to seeing the magic, when you open up your sight to see, whoa, this is what reality really is, everything changes. Everything changes. This is why it all starts with understanding that everything is energy. Everything. And nothing can be destroyed or created. It's just moving around. It's changing forms. Like eventually this wooden table that my phone is set up right now on, and my computer, for those watching on YouTube and Twitter, eventually this is going to be broken down into wood again, as it was built out of wood. And then it's going to be burned, and that wood being burnt is going to disintegrate into carbon, and then it's just going to disappear. It's going to be ashes and go, it's going to be gone. Does that mean it was destroyed? I mean, it seems that way, right? No, it was rearranged. The matter, the atoms were scattered back into the field. Okay? And that is a cycle of life, and that applies to everything. Everything is energy. And when you have that understanding, and when you're able to fine-tune your sight to understand that both about your inner world and your outer world, then the world is your oyster. And then the only thing that you need to do from that point on is continue to really understand that and develop that mindset, develop that understanding. And, the magic mindset, as I call it, is really just understanding that everything is working out in your favor. At the end of the day, everything is working out in your favor, because everything is giving you the opportunity to either clarify what it is that you're really wanting in your life, or it's bringing you closer to what you really want in your life, or it's giving you what you really want in your life. So all those things are amazing. And every single one of those things is amazing. So everything is ultimately working out in your favor. You seeing this, and, if you can take away one or two gold nuggets from this thing, even if one person could do that, I'll be happy. But I know a couple of you will do that. And if you can just take away one or two nuggets, nonetheless a few, then, that's magic. That's pure magic. And that's exactly what you needed, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. So when you have that magic mindset of understanding that everything is leading you towards where you're going, which means that everything that I'm saying right now, if you're watching this, it means that on some level of your being, you need to hear what I had to say. And if you need to hear what I had to say, then that means that this is helping you either clarify more of what you really want, or it's helping you get to where you really want. Right? And so both of those things are great things. Now, what about those situations that are seemingly negative, that are terrible, make me feel bad? Well, it's helping you. How is it helping me? Well, it's the worst situation of my life. It feels like my entire life is being broken down. I've been in more of those situations than any of you probably combined. Okay? And every single one, I came back down to the knowingness that I have no idea how. Oh boy, I have no fucking idea how this is going to work out. But it always does. Every single time. Because it gives me either the opportunity to get really angry and really focused. They talk about that in Star Wars. Your anger makes you focus. And it does. Anger, frustration, it makes you focus on what it is that you really want. I really don't want this. I really don't want to feel this way. And sometimes you have to scream and let it out. But then you get to realize, okay, well, what is it that I really want here? Okay, I don't want to be angry all the time. I like being angry. It's fun sometimes. But I don't want to be angry most of the time. So how do I want to feel most of the time? Well, I want to feel good. Okay, well, that's great. Now you know what you want. So begin taking the first necessary step to get there. Well, I don't know how. Well, what do you feel like you should do to get there? Just a little bit. Just what do you feel? Well, I should probably stop focusing on the stupid situation that's draining me and causing me anguish. That's a great observation and a great idea, and you're probably absolutely right. right? Okay, well, what's the next step after that? Well, I should probably start focusing on the things that don't make me feel angry. I should probably start focusing on things that make me feel good. Wow, imagine that. Imagine focusing on things that make you feel good as opposed to things that make you feel angry all the time, or things that make you feel broke or poor or sad or depressed or anxious and stressed all the time. We're addicted to these feelings. We're addicted to thinking about these experiences in our lives this way. Stop being addicted to the negativity and start being addicted to the feeling of positivity, the feeling of feeling good about your situation, the feeling of feeling better. If you can't feel great, that's fine. Feel a little bit better. Get a little bit better. Get 1% better every day. Just 1%. That's all you need. And then within 100 days, you're a new person. And here's the hint. In less than 100 days, you'll be a new person. But after 100 days, you'll be a totally new person. You won't even recognize that old person if you're truly getting 1% better every day. But you have to take control of your mind. You have to. There's no exception. Your mind is what is creating all this, right? It's what's creating all of this. You ever recall a story that let's say you were at a place with someone, you're at a bar, you're at a club, or you're at somewhere with someone, and you had the same memory. It was a crazy experience, right? And you tell the story, and then the other person tells the story, and they tell a different version of the story, and you're just like, that didn't happen. And they're like, yeah, it did. And you're like, no, this is what happened. You're like, that didn't happen. You're like, yeah, it did. I was there. You were there too. That's because you're seeing things from a different lens, okay? And that is a great analogy and a great example of what's actually happening in your life. Most people are seeing things from foggy lenses and wondering, they're just trying to, get bigger and bigger and bigger prescriptions so that they can see through those little cracks a little bit better, as opposed to pulling the blinders off, which is what most don't want to do. And that's why I shit on therapy a lot. And it's not to shit on therapists, or good therapists at least, or people that go to therapy, but it's just to say that instead of trying to get more prescriptions for, the small amount of sight that you have, I say take off the fucking blinders and, get to the bottom of the problem. Make some progress. Like I said, if I wasn't getting my clients results and blowing their fucking minds every call, well, I wouldn't be in business. But yet I know guys that have been to therapy for 5-7 years every single week. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars over time. So waste it too. I know guys that spend $50,000 on a business mastermind and it makes them, $100,000 or more. So in that context, yeah, it's worth it, right? But in the context of, you're just wasting your time and all you're doing is talking about your problems and wallowing in your problems, therapy's not helpful. And so, I'm not shitting on you if you go to therapy, but I'm just saying you got to really contemplate, is this really helping? And most of you that go, you're not doing it because you know it's really helping. You're doing it because you just don't think there's any other option. And I get that because I've been there. But I have to say there are other options. And it starts with, like I was talked about at the beginning, a deep desire to help yourself, a deep desire to change your circumstances and your situations and build something better for yourself. And getting the necessary help to help you do that. Like I said, it's possible to do that on your own. Reading lots of books. There's lots of amazing books on this and lots of things that you can do on your own. But if you want to do it fast, then get help, So like I said, you guys can message me if you want to talk more about that. I mostly work with entrepreneurs, but if you're someone who's really, really committed as an individual that isn't an entrepreneur, but you're really willing to invest in yourself and time and energy and resources, then send me a message and I'd love to see if I could help you. All right. So that's the power of belief, and that's the magic mindset. The magic mindset is trusting and knowing that everything is working out in your favor. And the power of belief is understanding that everything is brought through your perception, the lens of perception that you live within, my friends. And if you believe it, as Napoleon Hill famously said, whatever the mind of mind can believe and tell itself, let me say that again, whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe, it can achieve, right? So are you believing, or are you just believing in your unworthiness? Hey, Terry and Alakai, what's going on, brothers? Miss you, love you. Hope you're well in the good old land of Canada. Going to be heading back for a little while real soon. Love to meet up and say what's up. But I believe. Hell yeah. Anyways, love you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or observations about what I talked about today, you can send me a message. If you're interested in actually working through some of the stuff that we mentioned today, make sure you message me as well. We can set that up. I'd love to chat a little bit more. All right. Have a blessed, blessed night, and we'll talk soon, my friends.